Okay, now let's get going again over here with the third class that we're going to utilize the math. So I'm going to call it using math 3 and public static void main finish. We're going to adjust things up here real quick. And here we have our class structure. However, this time what I'm planning on doing is I'm planning on utilizing the square root. Okay, so we have a math.sqrt function. So I'm going to try to solve the Pythagorean theorem, as you may have learned from your prior math experience, that it is stated as pretty much that the square of the hypotenuse is equals to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. It's pretty much written like this. The square of the hypotenuse is equals to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. I don't want you to be, I don't want to be teaching math here, but I'm just utilizing this example. So when this gives me a value for c squared. However, when I try to do that for just the c, I would have to square root both sides. So that gets rid of the square on one side and only gives me the square root. So I'm going to just say square root of a square plus the b squared. Okay. So now I'm going to learn how to do this in Java. So first of all, I will going to introduce three variables, a, b, and c. Let's say if I initialize the c to 0.0. I'm going to ask the user to give me the lengths of both sides. So for that, I will be using my favorite scanner class to accept the input from the console. And I could have been using JOptionPane. However, I would have to then use wrapper classes to wrap it to an integer. Either way, it works just fine. So Control-Shift-O adds a java.util.scanner. Now I will going to enter a prompt. And in the prompt, I'll say, okay, please enter length of side A. And I'll say A equals to in dot next double. So I'll copy paste these two lines because except for a couple of things, they're exactly the same for the B. Well, going to save me some time. So I put B here and then I'm going to put B here as well. So now I have A and B. So now I'm going to write it down. My formula, C is equals to math.sqrt. So that's a built-in function. Okay. Now remember from the last tutorial that we use POW function to calculate square. So it is the sum of the square of the other two sides. So this is how it will be written out in Java. So we have math.pow, which is, this gives me a square. This gives me b square. Okay, I'm just putting some spaces around so that it is a little bit more readable. And then once it calculates the square of a and square of b, it adds them together, and then finally it calculates the square root. So now I can say system.out.println length of side A, and then I can display A. Length of side B, and now I'm going to display the B, and length of hypotenuse, which is C, and then will be the C. Okay, and here we go. We run our program, and it asks me what would you like to put as a length of side A. I select 5. Length of side B, let's say 4. So C comes out to 6.4. Let's do another test here. Let me put A to be a 3 and B to be a 4. C comes out to be 5. And we can easily test this. If you do 3 squared, that is 9. If you do 4 squared, that is 16. 9 plus 16 is 25. And if you take the square root of 25, it gives you 5. And here it tells you that it's 5. Hope you had fun watching this video. Catch you guys soon.